So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook. Hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show a little while today. I have to go on with my next guest. Very interesting with what he does. And he's been on with me several times now. I have with me Steve Wolff, and he is the owner of Wolff Management and Investments. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
First off, Carol, thank you for having me on your show again. I am a general contractor, and I target my work to homeowners. We do more than handyman work, but we do not do a lot of the extensive, the room additions. We don't do that. We target some of the repairs that need to be done around an individual's house. We lift concrete, both for individuals and for the HOAs throughout the valley. We replace concrete, or we will grind the trip hazards and eliminate that. So our company is multifaceted, but it is geared for the smaller needs that a person would have to.
So someone's listening and they hear that you are a contractor. We want you to understand. Now you're talking homeowners right now, right? But you do
Yep.
both?
We do both.
Right.
And we do more than just concrete. I have an indoor division in my company. So we do remodels, new kitchens, new bathrooms. We will do anything inside the house. Add a door, add a window. We will do that on the inside. I happen to run the outside division, which is everything related to concrete.
And you know what? Here's the thing, you guys. That concrete is just, it's bad. The concrete is bad because the roots of the trees are the bad things. Let's talk a little bit about that, because listen up, everyone. You can fall and somebody's on your property, and the last thing you need is for them to fall, because guess what they're going to do? Sue you. So let's talk about that.
Okay, yes, the roots from trees are horrible on concrete. They will lift a concrete panel up, creating a trip hazard. That concrete will either break or it'll move at an expansion joint or a cold joint. And anything more than a 1/4 inch difference in finish elevation on a walking surface is considered by the Americans with Disabilities Act to be a trip hazard. There isn't very many sidewalks here within the valley that don't have, to some degree, trip hazards. The roots will grow underneath the sidewalk panel, and as that tree gets bigger, the roots get bigger and pushes the concrete up. We also, if we are asked, and we do it, we will come in and not only fix the trip hazard, but then we will come back and cut the roots so that it won't ever happen again.
So here's what I want to ask you, because I had the situation when I had my first house here, and we had a tree. The tree was there like for 500 years, you know, and it was kept on growing. Those roots were growing, and they kept on coming up and up and up. I didn't have concrete at the place, but what I had to do was take the entire tree out. You, with your service, first of all, you can help them with their concrete by leveling that.
Correct.
You can come back and you can, am I hearing you correctly, when you remove those roots, is it still saving the tree, or is it taking away the tree?
No, it is saving the tree.
That's what I want to know, because how many people out there are in that situation and they say, like, I didn't want to really get rid of the tree. I didn't know you, but I ended up getting rid of the tree, which probably cost me a lot more money than if I had you get rid of the roots.
Trees have typically 5 tap roots, and those are the major arteries, let's call it, coming out of the tree trunk at the base. You can cut one, and the other 4 there will give enough nutrients and water to that tree that it can survive.
See, and people don't know this, and we don't know. Like, I didn't know, so what do you think I did? I said I got to get rid of the tree, and I got rid of the tree. I didn't like it, but I ended up getting rid of the tree. But they could call you. You can come in. Not only can you help them with the concrete, which is the biggest part, because so many people are tripping. I know my own stepdaughter tripped on something like that. It happens all of the time, and we all know it. I know with even where I live, there's something that every time I take out the trash, I'm like, I'm going to fall. I know it. But they call you direct, and you can come to them. I want to know a question about you. That how did you get into this? Did you have an issue where you fell? I mean, how did it happen where you narrowed it in? I know you take care of all sorts of the outsides, the insides, and you can help them with almost anything, but you narrowed it in on this. How'd that happen?
That's quite a story, I think. I retired. I was an inventor. I have 5 patents. I commercialized it. And I was at a position in my life where I could slow down. Here comes my 19-year-old son, and he says, Dad, I don't want to work inside an office, and I don't want to work outside all day. It's too hot. What can I do? I said, I will go back into business, and we will develop a company that targets a certain market that will be recession-proof.
And it is.
And it's concrete.
And that is, you really came up with it. And
Right.
Thank you for that. Because let me tell you, number one, when you come in and you can tell them how the process works, let me get some information about you out there. I'm sitting there talking to you. I want to talk about your information too.
Okay.
So first of all, you can check him out on his website, which is Wolff Management and Investments. You can also go to his phone number and call him and find out how he can help you. If you have a situation that's going on, he can help. And believe me, it's a lot less money going through you, and it's cooler too, because you're going to tell him the process of what you do. That phone number is 480-600-3584. I really want you to talk about the process, because what you do, it's really neat. People probably love watching what you do, standing there and watching.
So if we have a sidewalk or a complete driveway, we can drill 1 or more holes into the concrete and pump a slurry in that hole under pressure that will lift that concrete. We don't use, there are people out there, mostly individuals making side money, that will use a foam. We use a concrete slurry because that is what the municipalities want. They want something that they know is tried and true and proven, and it works. So we will come in and we can lift up to 9-inch thick concrete, hydraulically lift that panel into place. There is no reason that the trip hazard should be there.
Not only that, there's and you know what? It's nicer. It makes it nice for you too. And I think that the HOAs should all be getting in on it, especially. Don't you think?
Right now, I have 2 projects going on. One has 1,000 trip hazards that need to be addressed, and another one has 1,143.
Wow. How did you come up with that number? Did you count them all?
I walked it. That's how come, Carol, I stay thin.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something.
I walk it.
You know what? You're awesome, and I love what you do. Listen up, people. This is so important. If you've got a trip hazard, first of all, it's better for you. It's better for the family. It's better for somebody else that comes in and visits you. God forbid something should happen. I know it happened to my own daughter. It was at a business, and you do both residential, commercial, but we're talking residential right now.
Right.
Phone number 480-600-3584. Are you valley-wide?
Absolutely.
Absolutely valley-wide. Licensed, bonded, insured.
All that. Not only are we valley-wide, we're statewide.
So they're statewide. Again, that number is 480-600-3584. Wolff Management and Investments with an S.com. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I also want to talk at some point about the investment side of what you do, because it's pretty cool too.
All right.
What are your final words right now, real quickly?
When you call that number, you're going to reach me. I am the business.
you know what? Not only is he the business, he's all about helping everybody stay safe and making sure that he does it in an affordable way for you. 480-600-3584. Hang tight, we're going to be back in just a minute. I am so glad that you talked about what you put under there, because I was about to ask you what you do.
Yeah.
And when we come back, I kind of want to talk about that again really quickly, because, and what is it like when you lift up a driveway as opposed to a, let's say, somebody has their walkthrough. Most of them have pieces of concrete, right?
Right.
It's not all just one
Right.
most of the time. But you can lift up either way?
Sure.
So when you lift up let's say, a driveway,
Mm-hmm. All I do is drill more holes, and we pump a little bit in each. We just keep
you can
going in a
also
circle.
do that on the
till-
inside of a house, right? With
Yeah.
carpet. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh, I even do second floors. I've got guys leveling the second floor today.
Wow. So it's all about leveling.
It's all about leveling. And it's not, it was a tough niche to get into, but the work is to get your name out there.
Yeah,
That was hard. But now it just,
comes to you.
You know what? I have a mesquite tree that's about, I don't know, 30 yards away from my pool,
Mhm.
and it was something, it grew on its own. It's turning into like a majestic
monster.
tree. Is it something that
30 yards, or 30 feet, I don't think you're gonna have much of a problem.
because won't the roots seek out and go through the pool?
What we do is we take some vinyl edging,
Yeah.
you can get it at Home Depot, we'll dig a trench around that concrete and put from the bottom of the concrete, that vinyl edging, either 4 or 6 inches. That young root will hit that and then detour. It's when they get right underneath the concrete and then grow, they lift it up. So we just put the vinyl edging.
Yeah, I have.
That would be
probably
the
have to hit
most
on
you
for
have
that.
to do. I personally wouldn't, at 30 feet, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, you're too far away. Most of the problem is
They go
a tree
straight
within
down.
5 or 6 feet.
Oh.
No, not here in Arizona, because there's no groundwater. You water your yard, you water your plants in your decomposed granite. And so the roots, especially siso trees, stay right at the surface.
Huh.
They don't go down.
Yeah. So that
They're
was.
searching out this way for water, right under the concrete.
Yeah, it's at least. It's got to be at least 40 feet, I'd say.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
I
just
would
leave it.
not worry.
Well, that's
Ever.
good news, because I was waiting to hear, well, another 8 months, and then you're gonna
And
need
we
to
get
have
them
the pool
underneath
redone.
fences.
Yeah.
So I've learned when they go underneath fences, I figured out how to straighten that fence back out without tearing it down. You do that all the time.
We gotta talk about that too.
Speaking of fences, right? You gotta go on.
So welcome back, everyone. We've been talking big time here during the break about leveling, and you, Steve, you can level almost anything. You were talking about, I said that you can do people's floors in their houses. So, before you get your carpet put in, it's really a good idea to have your floors leveled.
The house was, and they put carpeting down, you don't know or care. You can't feel walking on carpeting to see or tell if it's level. Then X amount of years go by and the new owner, you decide I'm gonna put tile in here.
Yeah, that's right. It's the tile.
Oh, the tile. And people call me daily. I have an unlevel floor. Home Depot won't install the tile. I need you to come out because my house is torn apart to level my floor, so they'll put the flooring down. So I have a crew that does nothing but almost what I would call emergency work. We gotta be there the next day.
Because you're not getting installed unless that floor is level.
And you don't want your house torn apart.
Right. And that's the other thing that you talk about when I hear you too. You make it so that you're not tearing things apart. It sounds like you would be, but you're not.
We are. You can see in the house. You can watch us every minute of the day. We come in. We're professional. We do the work. We leave.
The phone number to call is 480-600-3584. It's wolfmanagementandinvestments.com, and he's statewide. You were talking at the break about somebody was talking to you. What I loved about you is what your honesty was, your integrity. He was asking you about his a tree near his pool, and you were explaining to him how he doesn't have to really worry about it. You were explaining exactly how those roots travel or grow. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
And that was very cool, the way that you explained that to him, because he was worried that you would be saying, yeah, you got a huge problem there. But you said no. And I thought that was really neat.
What a tree will do is it has the trunk, and then it has 5 or 6, maybe 4 tap roots. Those are the main arteries. And from there they branch out to ever smaller and smaller roots. Well, if you're anything more than about 15 feet away from the sidewalk with your tree, you'll never have a problem. These are small roots, are still looking for moisture and nutrients, but small up to the pool deck of his pool.
Yeah.
They're-
But some trees,
I find trees planted within 2 feet of a sidewalk, especially in HOAs. The developer has to put trees in the front yard, and they have a sidewalk that is not part of the between the sidewalk and the curb. Those grow, they will destroy the curb, but sooner than that, they will destroy the sidewalk.
now when you put, well, I was asking you to repeat this after the break, which was when you lift up the concrete or the floor or whatever, what do you put in there? Is it different?
Process different what we do. On the outside, we have a mixture of silt, which is finer than any sand, cement, and a lime that we put underneath that. It's all organic, so it won't degrade over time. And we pump that hydraulically underneath the sidewalk. We will drill, depending on the size of the slab, we will drill some 1.25 inch holes, and the number will vary on how we need to pick it up. And we will pick that piece of concrete and float it up on the slurry until the right elevation. Knock on wood, my guys are good enough. We have never broke a piece of concrete. If you lift it incorrectly,
Oh yeah, boy, that would be terrible.
we have to replace it then.
But you don't. You've never had that happen.
I watch these guys, I teach them until these guys know what they're doing. There's no school on how to do this.
That number to call is 480-600-3584. Another thing that you mentioned that you can do, and this is interesting because a lot of people have fences or walls. I'm assuming that it happens with walls too, where you could figure it out. You said you figured out how to do what you do without having to bring down that fence or wall.
Absolutely. We can cut a taproot as long as it is far enough away from the tree that the tree won't miss a beat. It won't even care. And we'll cut it. What we do then, not only do we cut the root, we have lifted the concrete enough to remove the root from underneath the concrete and then set the concrete back down. One of the problems with just replacing concrete, it never looks the same as the existing. It's impossible.
Right, you can't because that was bought so long ago.
Correct.
The dye lot's different.
Right.
And the sun has changed it.
Absolutely, Carol.
Yeah, it makes sense. The phone number again, he's statewide. It's 480-600-3584. What I love is this information that you are listening to right here is great information. Maybe it's you. You own, you're a homeowner. Maybe you're renting your house. Good idea to have everything taken care of and made everything level. Maybe you want to change, from carpet to tile. You're going to have it leveled, right? But also, if you know someone, this is the other thing I want to say. Maybe you're living in a home right now that you rent. Let's say that you are living, or you have an HOA. Tell them about it. Needs to be taken care of. Correct?
Correct.
You own one? Let's get this place looking good, and right, and safe for everyone. More than anything. Now, we only have a few more minutes, so I want to ask you this other part about what you do. I have to ask it. Because it's, the name of your business is Wolff Management and Investments. And so you have a two-parter.
The second part, the investment part, is I wanted to create for my children an investment vehicle where they could retire. And I did some cursory looking around. The stock market's fine, you can get good returns. Stock market tanks and you lose some money. What I decided was the sure bet is buying tax lien certificates from the state of Arizona. And they pay 16% guaranteed by the state. That's not a bad investment over the long haul.
One of these times we're going to just talk about that because it's pretty interesting too. I know that you did this for your sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you help people's?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that for a minute. So, because, it's not something that you talk a lot about, but it is something that you can help people because it's not as easy as it would seem just to do, right?
It can be once you learn the tricks of the trade.
Well, that could be with anything, even a radio show host.
I don't sell anything for the tax lien certificate. You're working directly with the state of Arizona. But I'm more than happy to teach people, tell people, tutor them on how to buy their own tax lien certificates. I think that it is because it's a sure bet. And you can buy a tax lien certificate anywhere from $50 up to $500,000. You can make money. Kids today should be taught by their parents. If the children are young enough, they should invest in this, and they should teach those kids for the rest of their life how to invest until it's time for retirement. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know if we'll have money, but this one thing is guaranteed by the state.
And here's what I say about it. It's not something you listen to this and go, okay, well, I can do it. There's some tricks to the trade. You have to find them, I'm sure, what are good ones, what are not, and something that you would also teach them as well.
Absolutely. And I do this as long as it's on the phone. When you call my phone number, all you have to do is say, I want to talk about tax lien certificates. Last time I was in here, I got 5, 6, 8 people that wanted me to talk to them about tax lien certificates and help them navigate on the process on how to do it. If I don't have to come to your house and teach you, I'm willing to do it over the phone. It's free. I just want people to be successful.
I love that. Now again, his phone number, it's 480-600-3584. He just wants to talk and make everybody, not only do you want to make everyone successful,
Correct.
but you also want to help homeowners, make their homes safe, make them level, saving you money, saving the earth, because you're not cutting down those trees. There's so much I like about you. Thank you for being here. Honestly, people, this is somebody that you should call because listen to what he does for everyone. I love the tax liens too. One time we just got to talk about that just by itself in itself is just amazing. Again, that phone number to call him, it's 480-600-3584. You can check him out. It is wolffmanagementandinvestments.com.
Perfect.